The Panthers, as B just said, got one up by the 49ers, and now doesn't look like they're going at the quarterback after all.
Yeah, San Francisco, in case you missed the news, I don't know how you would have, but in case you did, San Francisco moved up to number 3 overall. They traded 3 firsts and a third to Miami for the number 3 pick. The talk right now is that they did it for Trey Lance. So
Okay.
you'll see quarterbacks going 1, 2, and 3 with Lawrence, Wilson, and it sounds like Trey Lance. Um, and then the Falcons at 4, who may be taking a quarterback, may not be taking a quarterback. We'll see.
All
But as one person put it on Twitter, they've got the Panthers in the walls of Jericho
right.
because Carolina's sitting at 8, and that fourth quarterback's probably not going to fall to them at 8, regardless of who it is, whether it's Lance, Fields, somehow it's Wilson. They're not going to get to them at 8. So Carolina has a decision to make at this point because you can't trade for Deshaun Watson with everything going on with him right now.
Right.
You're probably not going to be able to get a quarterback at 8. And so you got to ask yourself, do you want to give up what you would have given up for Deshaun Watson to move up and get the fourth quarterback in this draft?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to, stay put, draft a tackle like Rashawn Slater or Sewell, and basically kind of give it a shot next year again?
Yeah. So shout out to the guys over at Panthers Nation podcast. Give them a follow if you're not subscribed to them. But Dave and Rashad, they've been saying that look, you guys don't necessarily need to draft a quarterback in this year's draft. Get yourself a tackle, right, and build that O line. You can win with Teddy Bridgewater, and you and I, believe that going into last year, he didn't have a great year last year, but I still kind of believe if you protect him, he can win those games for you. I mean, you guys lost like 8 close games, right? 8 games on the last drive, and I think better protection. You come out with some wins on some of those games.
Yeah, so, I think Teddy, if he's the starting quarterback, will have a better year just by virtue of Christian McCaffrey being back. So you have that outlet, and they signed Dan Arnold, so you'll have an actual presence at tight end now, a guy who can make catches for you in the red zone.
And you improved on the defense.
Yeah, they have improved the defense in the front 7. They still need a lot of work in the secondary. But in terms of, going and getting the tackle, I mean, yeah, that's great if they end up having to do that. They haven't had a left tackle since Jordan Gross, really.
Yeah.
But and if the quarterback is there, a guy that you think can be your quarterback, you go get him. It's far more important than a left tackle.
Now, the question is this. Have they really sat down and looked at these quarterbacks? Because the reports were that Matt Stafford, they were in on Matt Stafford.
Yeah, they made a big offer for Matt Stafford.
Right, and obviously all the reports out there that they were all in on Deshaun Watson, and really there hasn't been any other reports even since all the news with Deshaun Watson came out that they've shied away from it, really. So they're still looking at good veteran quarterbacks. So I don't know how much time they spent looking at a rookie to develop. You know what I mean? So,
well, yeah, I mean, I was, they looked at him, I'm sure, but like, I think, and this is a worry of mine with Carolina, because I think that Tepper just wants to make a big splash at quarterback.
That's exactly what it is.
He wants a big name there, and I'm worried that they'll possibly trade up and get a guy that they're not 100% confident in. That's
my point.
Just because it's a big move and everybody be talking, nobody's going to care that you drafted Rashawn Slater. And right. Panther fans aren't going to care that you drafted Rashawn Slater if Teddy Bridgewater is the starting quarterback again.
But you know what though? That's fine. But you'll be winning, and when you start winning, they'll care.
Yeah, well, look, maybe they'll be winning, but he wants to sell tickets right now. He wants buzz right now. I mean, personally, if they're not 100% certain on a guy like Fields or Lance, if he's there, I wouldn't be upset at them taking Rashawn Slater and then maybe trading a day 3 pick if they can get Sam Darnold for that and trying to rebuild him. But I'm sure Panthers fans aren't going to want to hear that. No. Panthers fans are upset with Teddy Bridgewater as the quarterback. And part of that is because of the organization. Because, they didn't want Teddy Bridgewater, and the fan base knows that. So you come back with him as a starter again. What message are you sending?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a tough sell, but you don't have to sell it, right? That's just what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? Like you can't get Deshaun Watson right now, right? They're not gonna do it. You missed out on Matt Stafford. That's just what it is.
I wouldn't say they
And
missed out.
yeah, yeah, like they missed out on Matt Stafford. And look, I mean, the 49ers jumped ahead of you in the draft. And you got to look and see what the Falcons do or somebody else because you're picking 8. So somebody else could be looking to stay where they're at in drafting or trade up to draft.
Right.
You don't,
Detroit at 7. I mean, everybody for a while has been thinking that's a spot where people can trade into. You know, they've got Jared Goff there. And, you know, if a quarterback starts to slide, somebody can move right ahead of Carolina and grab them.
right. So, look, that's pretty much out of your hands unless you want to trade for Matty Ice, right? Maybe Atlanta is willing to part ways with them and they go quarterback, or Jimmy G. You know,
Jimmy's got a no trade clause though, and he ain't coming to Carolina. Because why would you?
So you don't have a lot of options there. So
who gave Jimmy Garoppolo a no trade clause? By the way,
but you know, because at the time he was hyped as like a top 3 quarterback. Remember that?
Yeah. No,
for about 4 months, he was the man. He got one of the biggest contracts ever for a quarterback. For what? 2 games? He played hot in 2 games. Yeah,
it was more than 2. It was like 6.
Yeah,
but still, man.
Yeah. So that's how you got it. That's how you got it. But you know, there just aren't a lot of options for them at quarterback. So yes, if they say, "Look, we're rolling back with Teddy," that's just what it is. Like the fans will have to accept it. That's just what it's going to be. And I do believe, man, like if they have to smooth things over, coach and Bridgewater, right? Matt Rule and Bridgewater have to smooth things over and say, okay, look, you know, we went back and forth a little bit, got a little chippy, but you know, we got your back. That I think that's the most important thing. They have to stress, we have your back. This is your team this year. We're not going to try to take him from you. You know, we're going to support you. And you continue to work on the O-line, right? Get Rashawn Slater, get some more guards. Get some more guards. And you know, the defense is going to be improved. I think you guys might be good. You might be good.
That's what I was going to say. I don't have any worries about Teddy Bridgewater in terms of, you know, his relationship with the coach. They can say whatever they want to say, and Teddy's going to come in. He's going to do his job. He's going to play. He's a professional. He's not going to, you know, let whatever happened at the end of the last season into the off season affect the coming year.
True,
but he already knows you don't have his back, and he knows that because you signed Pat Elflein and Cameron Irving. So even if they draft Rashawn Slater, because first off, you know, you draft a left tackle and you put him out there and play, chances are he's not going to play well in his rookie year. You know, those guys take some time to develop. Yeah. But even if he comes in and he's Orlando Pace, the middle of that line is still porous. Like, it's just going to be sacks coming right at his face all day long.
Look, I mean, you have more than one pick, okay? Draft the center, right? Draft the center in the second round. Like, I mean, look,
listen, you're talking about a guy who was part of a team who said, "Yeah,
I know. Let's take
that defensive lineman and make him an offensive lineman." Now,
I'm still hoping Matt Paradis turns it around, right? Because I don't know, maybe he just had lingering injuries or what. I don't know what it is with him, but he was good right before he came to Carolina, and I don't know. I'm hoping he can turn it around. That will help things greatly. If you get approved play from Paradis, you draft Slater, and get another guard. You know, even if it's like a second or third round rookie, can't be worse than what you have, right?
Well, but see, then the problem is now, and I agree with you. That's what they should do. They should invest heavily in the draft or in the offensive line in the draft. But then you leave yourself without a secondary again. So we'll see.
Yeah, but yes. But you know, you'll have to try to pick up whoever free agency, and at the very least, okay, you come back with the same secondary, but your D line is improved, right? Yeah. So you get into the quarterback quicker. hopefully that helps with the secondary and their coverage. So
they're gonna be relying heavily on that front seven, and it might work out, it might not, but typically you want to get some coverage to give those guys a little more time. Because I mean, you can look at Ben Roethlisberger of Pittsburgh, right? They gave up the fewest sacks in the NFL last year. It wasn't because they had the best O-line; it's because he threw the ball in 0.2 seconds every play.
Yeah,
you know, like if a team wants to take your pass rush out of the game, they can do it.
Yeah. Yes. I didn't say they're going to the Super Bowl, but I think I think they can have a much improved season. They're competitive this year, right?
Yeah.
So they did get better. The offseason isn't over. We gotta see what all they do. But I mean, as far as quarterback, you don't have a lot of options there, right?
Yeah. I think we can wrap this whole video up just by saying, please not Mac Jones. That's all.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, not Mac Jones.
The talks have kind of cooled on Mac Jones recently. I'm not hearing his name as much anymore.
You heard it from Chris Sims.
Yeah.
He said San Francisco's ready to win right now. He thinks they traded up to 3 for Mac Jones. The most pro-ready quarterback in the draft, he said.
What if he turned out to be right?
I love Chris Sims because I love Chris Sims because I don't think that he's trolling people. I think he just looks at quarterbacks differently.
Maybe.
And so I always like hearing what Sims has to say. I never agree, but I always like listening to him.
Look, yeah, maybe he's right, but I don't want the Panthers to find out.
No.